all of my work focuses on animal welfare, right? I had been, even as a child, I was fascinated by animal behavior. I was always fascinated by animals, what they did, why they did it, how we could communicate with them. And so, like, I think many others who are interested in animals, I was really animal focused, right?
Yeah.
And it's been sort of an evolution through my career to come to the place where understanding that working with animals, and particularly from the perspective of supporting and contributing to, and ultimately, hopefully improving their welfare, that you can't focus only on the animals, right? Because ultimately, everything that happens to them is dictated by people.
I had a life-changing experience because I was part of a leadership training, and that was amazing. I was able to interact with other Latino, with leaders, and really, yes, just like learn new things and get to know more things about myself. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me see, let me demand, let me ask. And that was the key. Like after that, I remember my boss, I asked him like, why I'm not a director? He's like, you never asked.
Wow.
You never asked. And I'm like, why don't I have a raise? I mean, you never asked. Like, what? So I think I would like to highlight that to people that are hearing this story. And it's not like a one size fits all. Everybody has a different story, but I think you have to first know your value and also know that it's not always with bad intentions that people don't promote you or don't give you what you deserve, that you have to ask.
I got to teach music. I got to help with school administration and business management. And that was the beginning of my career. And I fell in love with it and got to see the way that this tiny little school actually had a hugely outsized impact, both for the kids we were serving, Uva, but also for the broader education reform movement in Newark and in New Jersey, because we were, to use the hackneyed phrase, proving the possible. So that helped me to see that you don't have to work at the Department of Education to make a difference for kids. In fact, in this space, it's precisely these little islands of excellence that can change what people think is possible in schools. So that, Uva, is how my sort of like personal journey led me to this career and how it started.
I just knew in my gut and my heart that, you know, if my name was going to be associated with this thing, it had to be more than just beating the averages and making money. That I didn't value money enough to work towards that goal, you know, and leaving wealth for the next generation just wasn't something that felt to me like something I wanted to give my time to.
And I think for me, growing up and coming home and there were eviction notices on the door, I think for me growing up in food deserts, I think for me growing up and not having access to mental health resources, not being socialized to think that mental health was important and something that you should talk about. For me, I see those similarities in the young people that I serve now. And far too often, we expect young people to walk into schools, sit down, pick up a pencil, answer question number 24, but we don't see their full humanity. We don't see what they've been through, and we're not willing to have those conversations. We're not willing to support them with what they need. But I think because of my lived experiences, I'm uniquely positioned to support them.
Well, Youth Build, they got, how many staff is in it?
It's like 60.
So that's a lot of staff for them to take time and have time to sit with the students and figure them out and get to understand them and hear them and talk to them. Within like regular school, it don't be that many staff. They don't really have the time to really focus on the student to understand them. They just trying to give us our work, get us our work and get us out of here. With Youth Build, they really focus on like you, your real life, your career, what you want to do when you get out of here. They help you with anything you need. It's just a lot different.
I am a leader by accident. If you look at almost all my career, I was always the number 2. I was the number 2 to a major general. I was the number 2 to Ambassador Otunu. I was the number 2 to a CEO at Purdue. I love to be behind the scenes. It's just where my comfort zone is.
Mm-hmm.
When this thing got bigger, I had to push myself to get out of my own way sometimes. So when I say I'm a leader by accident, I'm also, I think, a leader of leaders, because it's the only way I can survive in this world, and also how I actually deeply believe that a good organization has leaders throughout the entire organization.
It's a give and take in any situation, but you can be the warrior who fights for and fights with. You can be the advocate who lifts the voice, and you can be the healer that takes care of. And simply that quote was her way of saying we can be all these things, and there's not one separate, they all align. And that's our responsibility as we teach multi-generations of folks and multiracial individuals. This is what makes us the us. That's why we're all together, because in all of us is the healer, the warrior, and the advocate.